I've been thinking of something very important, and it is about birds. So, I don't know if you have ever thought of it, how someone can choose a bird with all the birds we have on this planet Earth to be a national bird. Can you imagine that? So, I'm going to dive into a series of national birds we have gotten on this planet Earth. So, hi everyone, my name is Lucas, and today I've started a series of national birds. And from that, I'm going to start with a bird of my own country. So that is Uganda. So the bird I'm going to start with is the gray-crowned crane. Most people here in Uganda, we call it the crested crane. In my local language, here in Uganda, we have different local languages. But in my local language, we call it engari. So I don't know if you can spell that for me in the comment section. Ngari. That is what we call it in Uganda or in Buganda. Before we go any further, I want to give you, some details about this bird. So I want to give you the facts about this bird and also as to why it was chosen to be the Uganda National Bird. This bird has featured on Uganda flag. It has also featured on the Uganda coat of arms. Wow, that is so big, right? With all the birds. But let's go into the facts and see what we got. All right, fact number one. So this bird is actually, it has gotten a gray plumage. That's why it is called the gray-crowned crane with black and white wings. So this bird actually lives in groups, what you call flocks. Actually lives in places like the wetlands, for example, the swamps. It lives in grasslands. This bird also lives in agricultural places, especially in farms and stuff like that. So if you want to see this bird, you need to go and visit such places because you might not miss to see it. So the other fact about this bird, actually this bird, I call it a lover bird. Why? Because this bird actually, before settling with its mate, actually it first dates. Can you imagine, like the way you can take a girl out and get a cup of coffee and stuff like that? So this bird actually, what it does before settling with that female, what it does, it takes the girl out. Interesting, right? So that's one of the funny facts about this bird. So this bird actually, during this period, it goes and makes different dances and spreads the wings very wide and bows down, like it glorifies the girl. So the girl has to feel like, yeah man, this guy is in love with me. So the funny thing about this bird also, during the when it is building up its nest, actually doesn't build it alone, as in the male one doesn't build it alone. They build it together. That's how beautiful this bird is. They build the nest together, and even when they are laying eggs, the male one is there. And even when the time reaches for the baby to hatch, this guy is always there, and they raise the children together, or what you call the chicks together. Can you imagine that? So this is something we should learn about this bird because it has gotten that love. Wow. So no wonder it was chosen to be a national bird, because actually represents the people of Uganda, because these guys are very loving. You need to see them by yourself. So the other fact about this bird, actually this bird can live about 22 years or even above. And also its wingspan can go to about 6.5 feet. Can you imagine that? And in height, it can go to about 3.5 feet high, and even it can weigh for about actually 3.5 kilograms. So it is pretty heavy. Yeah. So this bird, you can find it, as I told you, in swamp areas. And since it is found in those places, this bird is omnivorous bird. So it feeds on fish, feeds on snails, feeds on grass, feeds on different insects, feeds on different meals. So don't be surprised when you find it eating a lizard, a frog, and then the other day you find it eating grass and be like, what? Yeah. So the female bird actually lays about 1 or 2 to 3 eggs. Yeah. So not very many eggs. So 2 to 3. And these ones can take a period of 30 days to hatch. So not so long. The other story about this bird is a very endangered bird. Can you imagine a national bird to be endangered? What I mean by this bird being endangered, actually the numbers really reducing. During the 1980s, 1970s, this bird was about 100,000. Right now, when we talk, it's about 10,000 birds. Can you imagine? That has really reduced, and this is due to the poaching, illegal poaching. Then it is due to poisoning by farmers. Most people poison this bird, especially in the western Uganda. So, and plus, remember, it lives in swamp areas, so its homeland, it is also destroyed because swamps are reduced. And we want to thank the Uganda World Authority for ensuring that they are doing so hard to make sure that this bird stays, so that even our great children can see this beautiful bird. So let us dive into as to why this bird was actually chosen to be a national bird. First, this bird actually walks with dignity. So when you see this bird walking, you may think this is a bird that is walking around its parish. This is a bird that walks with peace, walks smartly, is a very gentle bird, very peaceful, very graceful. I mean, describes the people of Uganda. Plus, when you look at this bird, it has gotten the 3 colors we have gotten on our flag, which is the black, yellow, and red. And we all know the meaning of those colors. So when we go to the black, we mean the black people of Uganda. And then when we go to the red, we mean the brotherhood we have gotten. And then the yellow, which is the abundant sunshine we have gotten in Uganda. So this bird has gotten all that. So that is one of the reasons as to why this bird actually was chosen to be a national bird of Uganda. So the other interesting thing about this bird, actually this bird is a bird that maintains, this bird is a bird that is very royal. I mean, royal. If one partner dies, actually this bird can never get another partner. After dating and getting married, this bird actually will never get another partner if the other partner dies. So that's how loyal this bird is, and that's how loyal our people are in Uganda. So trust me, these people who chose this bird to be a national bird, they were very smart. They studied the character of Ugandan people and the way of life, and really this bird represented the whole nation, from the flag, from the behavior, from the character traits, and all that. This bird has gotten it all. Can you imagine that? In 1893, Sir Frederick Jackson is the first person who said this bird actually should be added on the Union Jack. By then, that was the flag for the British people who were ruling Uganda by then. I think you know about the history of that time, right? So when this guy saw this bird that represented the people of Uganda, actually was like, man, we need to put that bird on our flag to represent the people of Uganda. So that's it for now. See you in my next video, and tell me which bird I should talk about next when it comes to the national birds. I'll see you later. Bye for now.